Here it is, sir. Spaceballs.
Good work. I can't breathe in this thing.
Well, it's been over 30 years since Spaceballs, the original Mel Brooks masterpiece parody comedy dwelling on the Star Wars and Star Trek franchise that was making millions upon millions of dollars, is in fact going to be making a sequel just like the original predicted, The Search for More Money. Just like Star Wars, or shall I say yogurt, in the film had suspected in the future. Mel Brooks has signed off on being a producer, having no writer credits, and pretty much nothing to do with the movie except for just being the name, which takes a lot of space balls, if you get what I'm saying, to just hand that over to everybody. In the sequel, Josh Gad will be not reprising, but being the writer and head actor in the movie, which we all know we love Josh Gad for his roles in whatever you think that Josh Gad was good in. Apparently, he was in Frozen and some other films. But let's be honest, the title isn't just a joke, it's a promise. The search for more money. That's exactly what this is all about. And it's the search for even more money at this point, because Hollywood doesn't know what to do with itself as far as making sequels or reboots. They don't know how to make a original property if it bit them in the ass. All they have to do is just go through their file cabinets of, oh, this made money back in the day. Let's go ahead and reprise that. Let's get it a sequel. Let's get it a reboot. Let's get more money put into it, and then it'll be a success. No doubt about it. But the thing of the matter is that if time has proven anything, it's that money, time, and reboots and sequels is not what is going to sell movies. It is good writing, good storytelling, a fan base that actually cares about the property and the people that are going to be promoting this and writing this. And I'm worried that as of History of the World Part 2 didn't do too well, this is probably not going to do too well as well. Well, so Spaceballs is a comedy that was ahead of its time. It played upon the Star Trek and Star Wars franchise phenomenon that was going on at the time. Those franchises could not be stopped, and Spaceballs hit at just the right time, and it was able to to tell jokes that are not able to be told today. So I don't know why they think that they're going to make a Spaceballs movie. It's going to be toned down to a significant amount that it's not going to be Spaceballs. It's going to be a completely different animal that nobody is going to appreciate because Spaceballs, Blazing Saddles, all of those movies, they were a success because they told something honest about the world and the culture that was going on at the time. They were able to make jokes that today would get you canceled in a heartbeat. And back then, they were able to do those things, and it was funny. People didn't get offended. People didn't get all butthurt and try to cancel the movie. And that's what they're trying to do with this movie. They're trying to bring back the nostalgia of Spaceballs without actually making it a Spaceballs movie and using the comedy that it was used back then to make it the icon that it was back then. So Rick Moranis, it seems like Daphne Zuniga, um, even Bill Pullman is going to reprise their roles, and of course Mel Brooks is going to come back probably as Yogurt. I don't know about President Scrooge. President Scrooge, yeah, and all the assholes that happen to be manning the Spaceball one, if you will, and all the meta jokes that they had in there, all the toys that um, that that Dark Helmet was playing with. As you can see, I am not that type of person. I do not play with toys. How dare you say something like that?
Did you see anything? No, sir. I didn't see you playing with your dolls again. Good.
Toys. How dare you say something like that? But yeah, Dark Helmet, Lone Star, Princess Vespa,
My hair! He shot my hair! Son of a bitch!
of course, Yogurt, the wise and all-knowing parody of Yoda, is going to reprise their roles.
I'm the keeper of a greater magic, a power known throughout the universe as the
Force?
No, the Schwartz.
Schwartz.
Yes.
Um, Spaceballs was so ahead of its time that they were joking about merchandising and sequels long before it came standard practice in Hollywood. And that's exactly what this is. This is a cash grab for merchandise. They're going to be making figures and posters and shirts and all sorts of stuff. And are we going to get a flamethrower finally? Are we going to get a ring with the Schwartz? So we can say your Schwartz is as big as mine? Because, yeah, it is. Trust me. But yeah, the sequel was always a joke. The reference to the original joke about Spaceballs 2, The Search for Money, is so on the nose now that when they joked about the sequel, it was supposed to be just a joke, but now it is a reality. And in Hollywood, nothing stays a joke for as long as there is millions and millions of dollars in the way. It's always going to become a reality. The mature jokes that they threw in there on um, in Spaceballs. It takes a lot of balls to resurrect the franchise 30 years later. It really does, especially a iconic film such as Spaceballs, especially when they're trying to squeeze out more money out of us fans. They know that Star Wars is in the dumps, Star Trek is in the dumps. They're not making any money on merchandise or on their streaming platforms for those type of films and TV shows. So they're trying to get us in the feels with a Mel Brooks iconic film or TV show. I don't know if this is going to be a film or a TV show, but they're trying to suck us dry and trying to belittle the amazement that Spaceballs originally was. I hope that you don't get tricked into thinking that this is going to be some sort of resurrection of Spaceballs, and just don't get your hopes up, because I have a feeling that Mel Brooks needed a little bit extra money, maybe, and he was just like, "Hey, I got Spaceballs in the dumpster, just kind of in the filing cabinet, just sitting there. How about I throw it your way, and you can do whatever you want with it. I'll come in, I'll be Yogurt, I'll be the producer, but I won't really have any say in it." Because the thing of the matter is that if he comes back as a writer, then they're gonna blame the failure of this on Mel Brooks. And if it's a success, then Mel Brooks has nothing to do with it. It was all about Josh Gad and the new writers. It's the new blood that made it a success. But I have a feeling that it's going to be a failure no matter what. The new cast and crew is going to be Josh Gad, Apparently, he was Olaf in Frozen. I never watched that movie. It's just not my type of film. Hollywood is stepping up to write this sequel. If anyone knows how to make something both funny and profitable, it's the guy who can get kids to sing "Let It Go" for years on end. I don't buy that because this isn't going to be for kids. This is going to be a movie for the uh, adults that loved Spaceballs from the beginning. Kids aren't going to get this. The whole point of Spaceballs was that these jokes, the whole "we ain't found shit," with the hair pick and
Love this one. Tell them to comb the desert, you hear me? Comb the desert!
there's just so many jokes in there that kids just won't get, and that's why they're gonna dumb it down for the kids, and that's why it's not gonna be funny because it's gonna be simple, idiotic jokes that are made just for the kids, and the adults are going to be sitting there like, this is not my Spaceballs. This is not what I signed up for. This is not what I enjoy. This is not what I came to the movie theater for. And it's just going to send the theaters and the studios crashing down even further. They just don't know what they're doing. They keep digging themselves in a hole, and it just keeps getting worse and worse for them. With Josh Gad on board, we're bound to be getting lots of laughs. Oh yeah, lots of laughs. I don't I don't know one damn thing that he's been in other than what they said about him being Olaf in Frozen. I thought that I remember him being maybe in like Hot Tub Time Machine or Fanboys or something like that, but I couldn't tell you one damn thing that he's been in that I can recall. He's one of those character actors that he does all right, but he doesn't stand out to where I could say, "Oh yeah, that's what Josh Gad was in. He wrote that. He was really good in that." He just blends into. He's a chameleon. He just camouflages himself into the cast of whatever movie he's in because he just doesn't stand out as a great actor. He's just there. He's fine. He just doesn't stand out as a great actor. The plot, as we know it so far, it's a possible continuation of the origin story. I have a feeling that Josh Gad is going to be the son of Lone Star and Princess Vespa, or even Dark Helmet. Maybe Dark Helmet clones a son of him and Princess Vespa, or something like that. Will they take on the new Star Wars trilogy? They will. I'm sure that they'll poke fun at the new Star Wars trilogy and maybe even Marvel and something like that, but it's still going to be toned down for the kiddies. And that's why it's not going to be the same level of humor that the original Spaceballs was. They had jokes about drugs, Prince Valium, um, uh, just the Virgin Alarm, the merchandising. Kids just aren't going to understand these jokes, and I just don't understand why they're trying to do something like this unless they're really going to tone it down for the kids. Behind the scenes, Mel Brooks is going to return, but he's going to just be a producer. He's just going to be sitting on the sidelines, just like George Lucas was for the sequel trilogy, where Kathleen Kennedy was saying, "Oh yeah, we're going to take your ideas and we're going to listen to you, and we're going to make it the vision that you had." And then once he leaves, and they're like, "Throw that shit away. We're not going to be using any of that." And that's exactly what they're going to be doing with this. At 96 years old, man, God bless him. Mel Brooks at 96 years old, he is a he's one of the great ones, and God God bless him, man. At 96 years old, he's still sharp, he's still funny and ready to poke fun at anything and everything. If anyone can bring back the magic of Spaceballs, it's the man who started it all. But I don't believe that he's going to have a significant role in making this movie. I have a feeling that it's all going to be in name. And if it does bad, then he's going to be blamed for it. If it does good, you're not going to hear a peep about him being involved. It's always going to be about Josh Gad and the new blood resurrecting this franchise. I guarantee it. The Mel Brooks's legacy in comedy. I mean, he made some of the most amazing comedies, Blazing Saddles. At this point, Mel Brooks is a living legend. So old, even yogurt would be jealous of his wisdom, and that is the truth. He is a genius. Some With Spaceballs 2 live up to the original? No way. There is no way in hell that it'll live up to the original. It'll just be another cash grab that we're all going to see opening night in hopes that it will be some semblance of the original Spaceballs, but I have a feeling that most everybody's going to go home really disappointed, and that's really sad. Um, it's not just about the laughs, it's about the balls. And this time they're going for the big balls. They are really going to be kicking you in your Schwartz and balls. That's for damn sure. Um, as far as the jokes and gags, it's going to be toned down. They're calling it Spaceballs 2, the search for even more money, which is the truth. That's exactly what they're doing. They're searching for more money. At least they're honest about it. I mean, it takes a lot of Schwartz to admit that you're making fun of a movie just to cash in. But hey, when your Schwartz is as big as mine, you've got to flaunt it. You know what I mean? So in the original, it was all about the Schwartz, whose Schwartz was bigger. Well, in 2024, size still matters, but it's only if it comes with a multi-million-dollar contract and a cut of the merchandise sales, and that's the damn truth. They say in Hollywood it's not the size of the Schwartz that counts, it's how well you wield it. But let's be honest, we're all just compensating for something, and especially in Hollywood, they're all just compensating. They're all just trying to compensate for their own misled um, path that they're trying to take. Dark Helmet surrounded by assholes. Let's be real. Dark Helmet's going to be surrounded by the most the ma- majority of people that surround him are going to be assholes and idiots. It's going to be pretty pathetic to watch. And let's be real, in Hollywood, who isn't surrounded by assholes? The real challenge is finding someone whose head isn't up their own Schwartz. If
Never have that damn thing down in front of me. How do I know you're not making faces at me under that thing?
President Scrooge.
Yes.
There it
Dark Helmet thought he was surrounded by assholes in the original, just wait until he meets the next studio executives trying to squeeze every last dime out of this franchise.
He's an asshole, sir.
I know that. What's his name?
That is his name, sir.
How many assholes we got on this ship anyhow? Yo! Knew it, I'm surrounded by assholes.
President Scrooge was all about merchandising.
I'll take a shot at it. What the hell? It works on Star Trek.
This was yogurt, but Spaceballs the flamethrower, Spaceballs the lunchbox. I wouldn't be surprised if the sequels gave us Spaceballs the limited edition NFT collection.
Come, walk this way. Take a look. We put the picture's name on everything. Merchandising, merchandising. Spaceballs the breakfast cereal. Spaceballs the flamethrower. The kids love this one.
Because you know that that's coming. We're in 2024. That's exactly what they're going to be pushing. They're going to be pushing the modern day merchandising, and NFTs is going to be a thing that they're going to be pushing, because nothing says I love this franchise like burning your money on digital crap that you don't own, that they can take away from you in a heartbeat. Merchandising, where the real money of the movie is made, and you thought that they were joking. Wait until you see Spaceballs, the streaming service. You know that they're going to have their own streaming service if this makes any money. where you can pay extra to watch the movie you already own with ads, with multiple ads every 10 minutes. Yogurt is best said it best. Merchandising, where the real money of the movie is made. But let's not forget, he's also a parody of Yoda, wise, old, and worth a fortune in toy sales. Yogurt might be small in size, but he's big in profits. And like they say in the movie business, judge me by my size, do you? Well, judge me by my net worth, you should. That is the new saying of the execs in Hollywood right now. Remember when Dark Helmet watched Spaceballs within Spaceballs? It was like the ultimate meta moment. When does this happen in the movie? Now. Everything that is happening now is happening now. When does this happen in the movie? Now. Everything that is happening now is happening now. If only we could get that instant feedback during surgery. Doctor, when does this operation happen? Now. What happened to the patient? We just passed them. When? Just now. Spaceballs was ahead of its time, breaking the fourth wall before Deadpool made it cool. When does this happen in the movie? They could use that line in the sequel every time the audience realizes they're being sold the same joke twice, because that's what's going to happen. They're just going to keep pulling from the old movies and rewriting the exact same joke for the new audiences. Dark Helmet might have a small stature, but his helmet was compensating for something, and Spaceballs 2 is probably going to be compensating for 30 years of inflation. You realize how great inflation has become? That's exactly what this movie is going to be doing. If Rick Moranis does come back as Dark Helmet, you know he's going to have an even bigger helmet. It's going to be the size of Spaceball 1, because in this sequel, everything's bigger from the budget to the egos. You know that's for damn sure. The scene where Dark Helmet asks, when does this happen in the movie? And Colonel Sanders says, now, could be the perfect metaphor for how Hollywood makes sequels. When does the cash grab happen? Now, sir. It's happening right now. It's happening then, it's happening now, and it's happening in the future. It's happening for eternity. Dark Helmet. What happened in the good old days of original films? Colonel Sanders, we just passed them, sir. Dark Helmet, when? Colonel Sanders, just now. We're in an age of remakes and reboots, sir. In Spaceballs 2, I'm sure they'll tackle the modern trend sequels, reboots, and spin offs. I can already hear Dark Helmet saying, we've gone to plaid. And now we're stuck in franchise mode forever, because that's exactly what's going to happen. President Scrooge, hail Scrooge. Spaceballs 2, merchandising wasn't enough.
Merchandising, where the real money from the movie is made. Spaceballs the t-shirt.
Now we need subscription services. Give me Spaceballs Plus, the streaming service.
Yes, that.
If they're so smart, Spaceballs 2 will include a scene where characters watch themselves making Spaceballs 2.
What the hell am I looking at? When does this happen in the movie?
When does this happen in the movie? Now, sir, we're making the sequel as we speak.
Now. You're looking at now, sir. Everything that happens now is happening now. We're at now.
Go back to then.
When?
Now.
Now?
Now.
I can't.
Why?
We missed it.
When?
Just now.
These jokes behind the film's humor with contemporary issues in Hollywood, staying true to the Spaceballs spirit while adding a mature meta twist, which isn't actually going to happen. I would bet the bottom dollar that they are going to tone it down for the kiddos. And I thank you so much for sticking around and listening to me rant about Spaceballs 2, the search for even more money. Mel Brooks is a genius, and I love him so much. He has made some of the best films I have ever seen in my entire life, but this just isn't it isn't something I'm excited about. I'll watch it and I'll give it a good chance, but I have a feeling that I'm going to be disappointed either way. Thank you for sticking by. Thank you for listening to me rant. May the power protect you. Thank you all so much for sticking around and giving me your support. Thank you for my birthday stream. You all made it the best birthday, the best day of my entire life. I love you all so much. May the power protect you all. And I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. It's morphin' time.
The sweeps. And the creeps.
That's not all he's lost.
Sir.
Prepare to fast forward!
Preparing to fast forward.
Fast forward!
Fast forwarding, sir.
No, 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 no. Please, please, please. No, 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 not that. Is it safe?
Sanders!
Sir!
What's the matter with this thing? What's all that churning and bubbling? You call that a radar screen?
No, sir. We call it Mr. Coffee.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here on this most joyous occasion to witness Princess Vespa, daughter of King Roland, going right past the altar, heading down the ramp and out the door.
Will you turn that thing off? What? What is it?
I'll be down immediately.
Shall I have Snotty beam you down, sir?
I don't know about that beaming stuff.